Welcome to Board Game Binge, the place where we bring you bite-sized, bingeable board game content from across the industry. I'm your host, James Staley, and in this episode, we're chatting with Ammon Anderson from Levity Games, a game design and sticker upgrade studio. His newest game, Cats vs. Cucumbers, is currently on Kickstarter. Ammon, welcome to the binge. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Did I butcher it or did I get it?
You got it right. No, it's great. Like my name, people get it wrong all the time. I never correct anybody. I'm always just like, "What's up?"
Oh,
So,
that's well. Hey, with a company called Levity Games, everything's got to be light, right? So,
100%. Like the whole concept behind it was like I wanted like my first game was called Taco, and it's like this super like nasty, mean, family
yeah.
friendly like card game, and we were trying to figure out like what are we gonna release this game under because we're gonna kickstart it, and we just kept coming back to Levity. It's just fun.
Oh, I love it. It's great, and I agree. The logo is cool too. It's got kind of like the little smiley face in there and stuff, which is kind of neat. Um,
Yeah.
eh, this is the first time I've come across this where our guest is like a designer, but they're also a publisher. Like you design games for other people, you publish your own games, and you've got this kind of Etsy store like upgrade stickers. I want to start there. So talk to me about this Etsy store with like the sticker upgrades. What is this all about? Like, is this like stickers to
Well,
kind of
so
pimp out your components or?
basically so people in this industry who know who I am, like publishers, they know that like I make really, really, really high-end prototypes for my games. Like,
Yeah.
in fact, the videos about the game that we have Kickstarter right now, they're all prototypes that I made in my basement, but they look like almost real
Oh wow.
and almost finished. And so um, I make stickers. I made stickers for my prototypes. I'd been in a really bad car wreck, and
Oof.
we didn't have a lot of income. And my wife actually said to me one day, she's holding up one of the little Gnome Hollow meeples from this game right here,
Mm-hmm.
and she goes, "These are so cute. You should make these for other things." And I was like, "That's a great idea." So I took a few games out of my like library and I scanned the meeples, and then I like illustrated little stickers for them. We threw them on there thinking even if it brought in like a couple $100 a month, like it eased a little bit of pressure off of us financially. And the first month we sold like $850 worth of stickers.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and so like from there it just like we just kept adding more, and then like it turned into like pretty much a full-time job in our basement. So like we made stickers all the while I was designing games. And so like I do a lot of other so I'm professionally like I've spent 30 years as a print designer.
Yeah.
So all I've done in my career is lay out stuff for manufacturing and print. So I do a ton of like freelance work within the industry
Hmm.
itself. I do rule books for people, and I do layout for their projects. So that because a lot of people they make games to send to China, and then they send their files, they realize like they're not printable.
Yeah.
And so like I do a lot of stuff for clients doing that. But I also do illustration. So I'm sort of like an art director, graphic designer, game designer, publisher.
Yeah. That's great. Now the stickers you're doing is it predominantly for board game
Yeah, it's just
components? Yeah. Like
we
not
do
like.
board game stuff. Um and we make stickers for all sorts of games. Basically, like we have our customer base is always like, "Can you make this and can you make that?" And like I have gotten so busy that we haven't even been able to support all of the demand, frankly.
That's crazy. How do you scale that up though? Like what? Like is have you thought about that? Okay, now here's the next step of.
It's just not possible.
Yeah.
Like the reality is like so board games trend. The trend are high for a very short time, and then like they taper off. So like there's a few games that like we sell stickers for literally every day. But every single game like has sort of like a hot period, and then it like
Yeah.
tapers off, and then like sales begin to diminish. So it's not really one of those things like I can scale it bigger. Um Also like the tolerances on a like a little meeple shape, right? Like a little tiny piece
Yeah.
is
There's
very
not a lot.
small.
Yeah.
And China can't actually manufacture what I can do in my basement with a vinyl cutter. So like I can get it really tight, but
Mm.
I'm also we're checking every single every single cut, and when we get a bad one, we just throw it away and we make a new one. Um, we've tried to get prototypes out of China, like of the stickers, and I built like a whole system. We're gonna like sell them to stores, and it was unfeasible.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then, so what would you say is kind of your most obscure sticker set you've done? Like for what game?
The most obscure thing that
Yeah,
I made, oh gosh, let's see here. Probably we make a lot of stuff for colorblind people.
interesting.
Um, because like people don't realize this, but colorblind folks, they actually ruin their board games for like non-colorblind people because they'll just take like a Sharpie and they'll just like write B for blue on things, or they'll
Oh
write
wow.
Y for yellow,
Yeah.
and they'll literally like they will put marks all over their board game with a Sharpie so that they can visually play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Where we take this for granted as people without. So, um, there were these little like tile sets that were released by like Azul, so
Yep.
Plan B Games at the time.
Yep.
Now it's owned by Asmodee. They'd released replacement tile sets for the blue and the red tiles because colorblind people saw them as the same color.
Oh boy.
But so it was this really great solution. Like, there you go. We have these new tiles. The problem is that on the player boards, it's still red and blue. And so they couldn't tell where to put them. So we make these stickers that go right like on the boards that match the design on the tiles for the red and the blue replacement tiles for colorblind people. That's pretty obscure.
Given how popular that game is, though, you might like. Do you? Is it? It's obscure, but is it also like high volume for you then, or?
Well, we've actually so the people who own the tiles are like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is so amazing. Like you fixed my game. Um, But with the people that are outside, so they stopped selling them. So when Asmodee picked up Plan B, they stopped selling those tiles. So now what we really get are a lot of people saying, "Where can I get these?" And you can sometimes find them on like eBay, but they're really expensive because they're discontinued.
I'm surprised when they redid at least the mini version. I got that now of Azul that they wouldn't have adjusted it at that time. Just make the change, right?
Well, I mean, so big corporations, right? Big companies,
Yeah.
they're gonna focus on like where they make the most money generally,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
like the I just think it's a numbers game.
Yeah. And then you also created. So you're a designer. So you did designed Gnome Hollow for. Was that for all play Gnome Hollow?
The op
Oh, the
release
op. The
no,
op op.
no
Yeah.
Hollow. Like I initially designed it to become like a Kickstarter launch that I could like build a brand around.
Yeah.
Um, when I took it to some conventions, the buzz just like went through the roof on it. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
And I got 13 offers from pretty much every major publisher in North America and some in Europe and some in Australia. But I ended up going with the op on it. And they kept it pretty true to what my original thing was. We redid some of the artwork to be a little bit more their style. Um,
And where were you
but yeah,
pitching it? Was that at Gen Con or?
I never pitched it. I just took it to Dice Tower West
Okay.
because I was just building like my like mailing list. So I
Yeah.
had like a table and I had like a little like banner. It's like
Yep.
sign up for my Kickstarter. Um, and then a publisher sat down and saw it and were like, "This is amazing. You should take this to Gamma Expo." So I took it to Gamma Expo like the next month. And Gamma Expo is a industry convention
Mm.
where lots of publishers show up and lots of at the time not a lot of designers went because it wasn't a place designers could get traction.
Yeah.
I got so much traction and the buzz like went through the industry that the following year like hundreds of designers like went to Gamma Expo trying to show off their games. And
Mm.
so now like Gamma Expo actually has like designer days built into uh it's actually been fantastic. But it was at that convention that we got all the traction. And from there it just the buzz spread and 6 months later I decided to sign with the op.
Oh yeah. And they did a great job with it. I saw it everywhere. Likewise, Twinkle Twinkle, which is another game you did, which that's the one that All Play picked up was Twinkle Twinkle, right?
Right here. See that? That's like that's it.
Yeah, right there, exactly. So how did that come about? How did that relationship, like for those out there who are designers, budding game designers, they're not interested in necessarily launching their own games, but they are interested in designing and maybe seeing if they can connect with some of these publishers. How did you connect with Allplay? How did that come about?
So it's funny, like I had entered two games into the PAX Unplugged Rising Showcase competition. So like they pick 5 games or 6 games every year that get a free place to show off the game right in the middle of the show floor at PAX Unplugged in December in
Mm,
Philly. And I thought for sure my other game was going to get selected, but what they selected was Twinkle Twinkle. And I was like, okay, let's go do Twinkle Twinkle there. So I went there and I showed off the game for 4 days and had just phenomenal response. So here's my advice to people who want to sell games. Number one, you need to build a prototype that's going to gather attention. You need some sort of like uh what's it called? Like you want some sort of like
buzz.
gimmick for
Yeah.
a better word like uh you know this had clear tiles even in my prototype that I had laser cut and then painted in the white.
Mm,
Um, something that like gets people's attention. Like with Cats versus Cucumbers, like we made like this little tiny like the first player marker is a cat tree that you can put your
yeah,
little
that's
tokens
awesome.
on.
Yeah.
Right? Like you just need like some little thing that people can get excited about. And they were like, oh, that's so cute. I love that. Um, so do something that can give people a little bit of a wow factor, right? And then show it off. So we showed it off for 4 days at the convention. And by this time, I knew quite a few people in the industry. And so several friends had walked up and just said, look, this is great. I love it. And I would just say, who is this game for? And one of those friends, his name is Jay. And he's a designer, but he also worked for, at the time, I think he worked for Panda. He actually called Joe at Allplay and said, Joe, there's this game. And it's an all play game and it's perfect for your catalog. So Joe called me after the show and said, "Can I get a prototype?" And I said, "Absolutely." So it's always good when publishers are asking for a prototype of a
Yeah.
game instead of me having to say, "You got to see this game. Like,
Yeah.
look at my game, right?" And granted, that's not a normal position for most designers.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate.
Yeah, if a publisher asks you for a prototype, say yes. It's very simple.
Correct.
It's a yes. Not a we'll see or let me think. Like it's like to get to that point is so hard for so many people, right? That if they're asking, then do you everything you can to get them that prototype. How do you make your prototype? Do you make them all in house? Do you use Game Crafter for part of it? Like how do you do your prototypes?
Well, so again, I'm a graphic designer,
Yeah.
right? So like I have tremendous skill at being able to like manufacture things. So like I have a 3D printer, right? So like I 3D printed this. I dev this entire piece
Yeah, this is cat
in
tree. Yep.
about 40 minutes.
Oh wow.
So like I built 4 versions of it and I 3D printed 4 versions of it in about 45 minutes. And like the first one didn't work and the second one worked and the third one I refined and then the fourth one I was like, this is awesome. And I even had like my like punch board designed at the same time. So I did all
Yeah.
this. And because I could illustrate it, I could do it really quickly. So I 3D print stuff. Like all my tokens for all my games look like this. Uh, okay, so like this is like the box from
Yeah.
Cats vs. Cucumbers. It's just a 3D print.
Mm.
And then what I do is I
Put a
make a
sticker on it.
sticker
Yeah.
that I've illustrated and I just pop it right on top. It's
So
the same with these. These are all just stickers on top, front and back of like a 3D printed piece.
So I want to hang on this for a second, just because for those out there who are game designers themselves or looking to prototype, it is always important to make something look as presentable as possible. Yes, you can get away with the cutting out the white pieces of paper and to illustrate the idea of your game, but if you want to get in front of a publisher and get somebody to actually look at it and just give you kind of the time of the day, do your best to make it look as polished as possible. One of the greatest investments I made was a 3D printer myself. You don't have to get
Yeah.
a multicolored one. I've got the A1, which is literally does one color filament at a time.
Yep.
But and use
Blue.
tinkercad.com allows you to do circles, boxes, and subtract and add
Yep.
boxes to do very fundamental, rudimentary things. But I mean, I was just the other day working on a like anytime I do player boards, I always want my player boards to be dual layer, right? I like it when the
Yeah.
bits clip into the board. Like if it's a cube, I
Thick
want the
inside. Yeah.
cube to nest in it. If it's a circle token, I want to fit in the board. And I'm working on a game with a buddy of mine, and so I went in using again Tinkercad, circles, squares, right? And you can add them or subtract them to create holes as well, right? And I was able to make
Yeah.
a double layered player board, which will emulate what
Yeah.
we're eventually going to do that with cardboard, right? When it goes to the manufacturer, you can work with your local print shop to then take whatever kind of graphics or artwork you want to do to make a sticker, or even get a
You
piece of
cut them
paper and
out.
glue it on, and just get an X-Acto knife and cut out the holes. That will
That's
look
right.
1,000 times better, and people will stop and say, "Ooh, that's cool!" If they can physically click those pieces in when they're playtesting your game,
Yeah.
versus just kind of like a printout on a piece of paper. I do that all the time because it really helps get people is if you can get them past the idea that they're playing something that's not ready, right? If you can get that out of their mind
Yeah.
and get them actually focused on the game, it'll be a much better experience to get their feedback and quite frankly when you're pitching as well. That's my 2 cents.
No, no, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Like, so, when I design games too, like one of the things I want to do is I want to remove any stumbling blocks that a player has
Yeah.
in a playtest because what I really want to see is I want to see how they're interacting with the game,
Yeah.
not how they're interacting with the pieces. Uh, but if a game's really super fiddly because like all your pieces don't work, you're actually oftentimes you're not getting a true understanding of how they feel about the game because
Yeah.
like they're just like, well, why is this paper? Just pretend it's not paper, but some people can't
Yeah,
get
they
through
can't.
there. Um, that little extra bit of energy, like it helps, but it also makes a publisher see like that you've solved a lot of problems along the way. So
Yeah.
if you bring them a game that's on paper, which you can do, like it's just a way, it's a steeper hill, right?
Yeah.
But if you can show a publisher like this is exactly the size, I know exactly all the pieces, these are the dimensions. I've even like gotten an estimate out of like um I've even gotten an estimate out of China. Like I think that you can manufacture this game at this cost. Like I've had multiple pitches where they're like, yeah, this is going to be really expensive. And you're like, actually, it's only going to cost this. And they're
Yeah.
like, whoa, this it changed the conversation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and things will come up too, right? Like it allows you then to kind of estimate the size of your box because you're not putting a flat piece of paper in, but you're putting things that have dimension and so forth to it, right?
yeah,
And then it might inspire you to do some upgrades that maybe you weren't even thinking of when you actually come time to make the game itself, right?
exactly.
So with cats versus cucumbers, then speaking of these kind of cool little bits, that was one of the things that attracted me to this game. And full disclosure, I backed this game today. As soon as I was going
Thank you.
through it, I'm
Thank you.
like, I got to get this game. This is totally up my alley. I love it. I know a lot of people love cats. It's got what do you call it? Like almost like a zombie dice vibe to it. Obviously with a lot more complexity, but the idea
Yeah,
where you're chucking dice and you're pressing your luck, right? For what that's worth. But it's the components that pulled me in, right? And that I kind of want to circle back on that, like just the all the pieces you have in this video show, like the meeples are different little cat personalities, and you can even upgrade those if you want at a different tier as well. How did
yeah.
this whole thing come about? Like, where did you get the idea for this game? How did the development on this start?
So my wife and I made this game together. So this is like my wife's speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really an Omni gamer. I play everything from like super heavy Vital Lacerda games all the way down to like Flip 7, right? So like I play all the different types of games.
Yeah,
Um, and you're right, this game like there's just certain characteristics, there's certain mechanics that people just love. Like literally everybody likes to roll dice.
yeah,
It's in our nature, like it's fun. It's I think some of the best games build off of like so many things that you're already familiar. And then you put a new spin on it and you add some stuff, right? So like um ultimately like this game, it's exactly what you said. You're rolling dice. Two different dice have different things. Like the blue dice have two cucumbers on them.
mm-hmm.
If you roll three cucumbers, you're gonna bust. It's gonna lose you your turn. Your turn's gonna end. But that feels kind of mean. So you're gonna get like a cute little cucumber token.
Yeah.
So like if you can ramp up the cuteness in your concept, people are gonna love it.
Oh yeah.
Like if you get a cucumber, people are like, wait, I get a cucumber if I lose? Yeah. It's worth the point at the end of the game, but it also down the road,
Yeah.
if I do hit some bad luck, this is a little bit of a catch-up mechanism. You can spend it and you can re-roll a busted thing and it doesn't kill you anymore.
Mm.
So it's super fun. We got cute little cats, right? Like, I mean, like, who doesn't like little cat tokens?
No, they're awesome.
And again, 3D prints with stickers on top, right? They're just 3D prints.
Now, will these be stickers in the final game? I think I saw some of your UV printing these ones, right?
Yeah, this is all like these are all gonna be wooden cats with like high quality printing on them at the end,
Yeah.
right? These are gonna be punch board, thicker punch board because we unlocked them, but
The boxes. Okay. Yeah.
they're just little boxes and they're worth points, and you're just like, you're who doesn't want to like put a cat in a box? Like that is pretty fun. Like, ta-da, cat in a box.
And this whole idea of like the bus. So for those who are listening and can't see the visuals I'm showing on the screen right here, essentially you have the different cat boxes kind of set out and they have point values on them. And the objective of the game, I guess, is to get higher up on that track of boxes with the higher value boxes. But at the same time, you're collecting toys and things like that, which also have point values on them too. So it's kind of a combination of two at the end of the game that's going to determine your score, right?
Yep.
The one thing I thought was really cool is this kind of communal bust, right? So
Yeah. There's 9 lives.
yeah, so the game ends when everybody when someone basically triggers the ninth life, right? So
Yeah, so like, and we
Yeah.
made it really cute. It's like every time you bust, like you're gonna flip it over and you're gonna like lose a life, which is super fun.
yeah,
And then when you lose all 9, you've lost all 9 lives and your game is over.
yeah, and then whoever's the
So
most
it's
amount of
just
points.
it's a communal bust, and that's a really hard thing to balance, right? So dice are probability, and probability states that at some point you will play a game where you infinitely never bust,
Mm,
right? It's just probability. And then there's going to be one game somewhere out there that, like, you're going to bust 9 times in a row and the game's going to end. So that's probability. Uh, so somewhere someone's going to have an amazing game and someone's going to have a really horrible game, but 98% of the ones are going to be in the middle, right? And so we've actually like tweaked the probability on this. But the reason it's fun is like it creates a lot of tension.
yeah,
So the fact that like it's my turn and I bust and everyone's like, no, 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 I really need to do this thing before the game ends. Like it creates a lot of tension and it creates a lot of like player dialogue at the table because you're actually rooting for another person to do good
yeah,
just so that you have a chance to do good. Um, but at some point, if you're in the lead, you want to lose and you're rolling for a bust and you're like,
yeah.
I'll take that point. So like it's like sort of like this the balance.
And the cat tree,
With,
which comes in a standard version, that is your first player marker, which I thought was super clever.
this is my wife's idea.
Oh, is it? Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's awesome. And I was going to ask you on the premium level where it comes with like a dice tray. Does the dice tray fit in the box or no?
No, it doesn't fit in the box just because we were trying to keep this box fairly small. It's like 5 by 7. It's like
Yep.
actually I can show it. Like it's just this size right here. So it's like you could throw this in like a bag and go play it at the park or something. Especially
Yeah.
because all the components not cards. Like other than this, you could just go play this on a picnic table out anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Um, so the dice tray is really like a deluxe luxury edition. It doesn't fit in the box, but it will fold flat, so it's easy to take places.
Yeah.
And then we've added these are sort of killer kittens, which are really fun.
Yeah, I
They're
saw
like
the Killer Kittens. Yeah.
they're like cosplay cats. This is really like just Kickstarter fodder, right? Like this is like people
Yeah.
love this stuff. They see what I can get a Jason cat. I don't want to play with anything but a Jason cat. So it's like it's just meant to be fun and really like give people like a reason to back a game, right? If you look at Kickstarter,
Yeah.
why is a person going to back a game on Kickstarter versus like just wait 6 months and buy it in 6 months and get it the day you buy it? Well, it's because we're going to give you something that you can't get in 6 months.
Yeah.
That's why you're going to back it today. And so that's really what those are. And they're designed to really like push that theme. Like even the inside of the dice tray is like all the cats are watching the roll.
Mhm.
Like what's going to happen next? So it's all very thematic.
It's cool. The cucumber part. Did this come from like I see videos all over the internet now of people putting like a cucumber on the floor near a cat, and when the cat turns and noses cucumber, like they jump like 10 feet in the air. It's like I didn't realize this is a thing that cats are kind of scared of cucumbers. Was that kind of thematically where you guys got the idea, or?
It's exactly where we got it from. We watch a lot of YouTube in our house,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
it's awesome.
and we watch a lot of like fail videos, and we watch funny cat videos. And
Yeah,
the funniest cat videos are always like the cats running away from cucumbers. They're hysterical. And my wife and I were like, "There's a game here. Like, let's make it." And so we did. We wanted it to be push your luck. We wanted the cucumbers to be the bad luck, and we built from that point on.
no, it's amazing. For those who haven't checked this out yet, I am going to encourage people to check it out. You're at 62,000 Canadian. It's the only way I can see it. Almost 1,200 backers on a goal of nearly 14,000. Still 8 days to go. The one thing we were talking about off air that you mentioned that I think is important to talk about, and I don't know if you have any insight as to why this is happening, but your campaign is one of the only campaigns I know of where your funding has grown since day one. So usually everyone that runs a campaign knows that day one is important. Day one is going to represent. Usually, you take your day one pledges, you times it by 2.5, and that's how you're going to end. How your campaign's going to end.
Yeah,
You've broken that mold where your
it's true.
funding has continues to accelerate. Any insight as to why that is?
You know, that's a great question, and we've actually been asking ourselves that question for the last week and a half.
Yeah.
Because I mean, on the 11th day, so typically what you have is you have a big bump at the very beginning, and
Yep.
then like you build like very slowly, like you're picking up a few $100s here and there, and then
The last
at the end you
17
have
hours.
another
Yeah.
big bump, right?
Yeah.
Um, we've actually been averaging anywhere between uh so our first day was $10,000, and
Hmm.
so we've been averaging roughly 25 to $4,000 a day following the first day.
Wow.
So we've completely broken that trend
Yeah.
of big day, bunch of little days, big end. And we're just like our trend mark is just going straight up. It's like going like at a 45-degree angle,
Yeah.
which I mean honestly like
That's
that's
good.
amazing. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Um, I think much of it has to do with we're running like a social campaign
Hmm.
where I'm going to be illustrating someone's cat and putting in the rule book and going to send the person who wins like a little like illustration, a personal illustration of their cat. Um, we had we've had a tremendous amount of response on the campaign. We've had I think 100 and 200 and let's see here. How many people have commented on this campaign? We have 200 and sorry, Kickstarter is really slow right now. It's loading.
You got a lot. You got 1,200 backers, anyways, right?
Yeah, we got 1,200 backers, and especially on
Which is a
such
huge
a
number. Yeah.
an inexpensive game.
Yeah.
Um, we have 252 comments.
Nice.
So like, there's Kickstarters with like $300,000 on them that don't have this many comments.
Yeah.
So we've gotten a lot of like engagement with our community, and we've had people saying like, "We love this. This captures so much of what we love." And so I think the theme's really a part of the reason for this.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on this one for sure. What is kind of next for you guys? Like, have you already mapped out kind of the next steps? Is it continuing with stickers? Are you working on designs for other publishers? Now that you've had such success on this under your own like your own company, or like what kind of what's your plan?
Well, I couldn't have done this without my friend Matt. So
Mm.
my friend Matt, he owns Levity Games, and he's a friend of mine. I've done a lot of art direction for his stuff. He did a game called 12 Labors of Hercules that I did all the art direction on, and
Hmm.
he just crushed it on BackerKit
Yeah.
earlier this year. Definitely going to be releasing more stuff direct. I will still be releasing stuff with publishers. I'm in talks with several publishers over some games right now. I have several games signed that are coming out with from major publishers next year
Mm.
that I can't talk about yet. Um, I have some games that I'm going to be pitching at Gen Con to some publishers.
Yeah.
And um, I also own 25% of a company called Up Games. We just released Floristry. I'm not sure you can see it up there, but that's been a great, tremendous hit. It was a hit this year with Barnes and Noble has just sold the heck out of that game. It's a little two-player, and so I'm gonna be all over the place, honestly. I'm not sure exactly where I'm gonna land
Yeah.
permanently, but I have just loved supporting other creators in this industry as well. So like, um, I was able to support the Galactic Cruise team with their
Oh, no
campaign.
kidding. Okay, wow.
I did the rulebook layout on that.
Yeah.
Um, I've worked on several other really big campaigns recently, and actually, like, I've been working on a Kickstarter page for a game that's launching tomorrow. So, Goats and Goblins is coming out
Oh, wow.
tomorrow with BA Games, and I did all the Kickstarter layout on that and the graphic design. So, I'll be honest, like, I love everything about this industry.
Yeah.
I love working with other publishers. I love supporting specific games that I believe in. Every now, like, I don't illustrate a lot of games for other people just because it's not super lucrative to illustrate. It's a
Sure.
one-time
Yeah.
hit. But when I believe in a game, I'll definitely jump in and do some illustration for it. And I think that's what is so great about this industry is like I'm like working with my competitors, right?
Yeah.
But I love it. Like, and I want to see them do just as good as I did. I don't feel like they're my competitors. I feel like they're just other games that make this industry great. And why wouldn't we support that?
Yeah, totally. I couldn't echo those comments anymore. I will put a link, as I said, in the show notes to this. People can find it just by typing in cats versus cucumbers on Kickstarter. I know it's a project you love status, so it's probably already on people's For You pages. Again, I've backed it. I can't wait to get my copy. It's going to be a blast. And
That's
I
awesome.
want to wish you all the best on this campaign, my friend. I can't wait to see how it ends.
Cool. Thanks so much for having me.
No worries, brother. You take care. Cheers. This has been an episode of the Board Game Binge podcast, hosted by James Staley, produced by James Staley and Mike Bruner, with original music by Nick Smith. If you would like to watch these interviews live, simply subscribe to our YouTube channel, Board Game Binge, and you'll get access to live interviews, giveaways, and interesting board game content from across the industry. I can't wait for you to join us. See you next time.